William Carey arrived in India with his family in 1793, but things did not go as he had hoped for his new mission. For one thing, he entered the country as an illegal alien and really had to live clandestinely for several years. And also, he was betrayed by his friend John Thomas, in whom he had placed so much confidence and hope. And beyond that, he had to eke out a living as best he could for his family, as they were often besieged by illness and fever. But through it all, he continued to hope in God and to trust in the vision that had led him to India in the first place. Not only to translate the Scriptures into the language of the people and to serve as a witness for the gospel of Jesus Christ, but also to reach out in Jesus' name in love and compassion to many who were suffering. One of the things he encountered right away was a practice called sati. This is a practice deeply rooted in Indian religion, whereby a woman whose husband has recently died will be burned alive on the funeral pyre in hopes that her soul will be reunited with his in the next life. Well, Carey was deeply offended at this inhumane practice and worked for many, many years to try to overcome it. But he was also concerned about other practices, infanticide, the offering of newborn babies as sacrifices to the various gods of the East, as they would be thrown into the mouth of the Ganges River to be eaten up by the crocodiles. And even abortion. He was opposed to this practice as well. But he was not unmindful that his own culture and society, the British Empire, was engaged in inhumane practices of its own. And Carey became, along with William Wilberforce in England, one of the great protesters against the inhumane institution of slavery. And eventually, near the end of his life, the slave trade itself was abolished. In these early years, there were many days of doubt and depression, loneliness. Sometimes it took several years for a letter to be taken from England back to India. And then there was the difficulty of Carey's own ministry, the lack of visible results and immediate success in his preaching and working with the Hindu and Muslim folks. At one time, he wrote the following words in his diary. "I feel as a farmer does about his crop. Sometimes I think the seed is springing, and thus I hope. A little time blasts all, and my hopes are gone like a cloud. They were only weeds which appeared, or if a little corn sprung up, it quickly dies, being either choked with weeds or parched up by the sun of persecution. Yet I still hope in God, and will go forth in His strength, and make mention of His righteousness, even of His only." Let's listen and look as Carey carries forward the mission God had led him to in faraway India.